Deal packaging has made me a multi-millionaire, and I'm going to show you how you can do it too. So first of all, what is deal packaging? Well, you guessed it, it's around property, but I'll show you exactly what it is. This is you in the middle of the pie with a big smiley face. You've got property on one side and money on the other. So this obviously represents a person looking to sell their property. This is looking for a person that's looking for an investment property with one eye apparently. And what you're going to do is introduce the two to each other, and then you get paid in the middle. Typically, you will get paid around £5,000, but we end up making quite a lot more. So that's the basics. You're an estate agent, is a glorified estate agent, but represents the investor, not the vendor of the property, and you can make a lot of money doing it. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, but first of all, let me show you some results so you've got an idea that I actually know what I'm talking about. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading off the numbers because I want it to be as accurate as possible. But ultimately, really it's about showing you the financial journey to where I'm at today. It's a 9-year journey currently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to show you the transition of how I did that. So 2015, it wasn't actually my first ever deal at that point. I did my first deal in 2014, but I did it in December 2014. And I made an incredible £570. Huh? Pretty good, right? By the way, I'd invested about 33,000 in training and mentors. Good fucking start. So I'm going to just cross that one off. So how much did we actually make as we were building up? So first of all, what was the average deal size? When I say deal size, I mean what fee did I get paid to play this role? Well, in 2015, my average deal size was 3,600. In 2016, it jumped up to about 6,200. Now you're wondering, how did I make that jump? Well, it's a transition. Then we went back down to 5,000. We shifted our model there, and then we jumped up in 2018 to 7,200. Now again, this won't make much sense as I'm going through this, but it's about what value you're able to contribute at that point. In 2019, where are we? We did 5,800, so you can see all of these are recalibration years. Then we jumped up to 6,700, 7,200. Now this is where it gets really interesting. 7,400, and for this year, 16,300 per deal. So what we're now going to go through is how much money I actually made in each year. So this is what it looks like right now. So as you can see, we started our first ever year. We did 143,000, 306, 377, 500,000. That was a really big year, this, in 2018. Then we did 556. This is what we call a recalibration year in business. So in business, you do a recal year, which is when you've grown really well in marketing and sales, but you need to focus on systems and things like that. Then you can grow really quickly. So you can see in 2020, which was COVID year, by the way, we had to pivot a load, and it was our first ever £1 million year, which was really cool. Then we did 1.36, then we did 2.48, and then obviously 2023, we are pending. But to give you an idea, this month we are targeting 450,000 a month. I reckon by the end of this year, we'll end up on about 3.4 million, give or take. Cheeky little plug here for you, by the way. If you want to learn how to do this in depth and you want to invest in your education, then just put education in the comments and I'd love to show you in depth how I do that. So that's the sort of growth mark. Now, something I really want you focusing on, guys, is if we scroll past that growth and we look at 143, maybe I'll just draw it here slightly. If you imagine the growth between 0 and, well, 10 years, obviously I'm not here yet. So you've got time here and money over here. I think this is really important because a lot of people get started with this sort of get rich fit fantasy. What the fuck was that? Get rich quick, guys. All right. And the thing is, actually, it's not. If you notice, it was 143 grand. Then it was about 250. No, 300. Then it was 360. Then it got to 500,000. Then it got to 1 million. Then we had that sort of recalibration point. It was here, wasn't it? So it sort of went like that. and then it was 1.8, 2 point something, and then 4 point. So as you see, the curvature is relatively flat lined, and then it gets vertical. And my hope is in 10 years I can do another video, and whilst now my growth looks like this, I hope it looks more flat in the future, right? So that's from going to 0 to 140-ish, 43k, 300, all the way up to 2.x million last year, and then this year we're looking in that 3.5 part, okay, that we're going to be building up. So how did I do this? Well, first of all, let me show you what I was doing wrong the first year. Is I was trying to sell the product. Now, let me give you an example, because most of you, or some of you watching this, might have actually seen this is how it works, and it's just not right. So when you've got a product like this, let's say, for example, the house is the product, right? Now, the issue with that is, well, multiple fold. So first of all, what makes a great deal? And actually, don't cheat on this. Pause the video now and put in the comments, what do you think makes a great deal? And I'd love to read some of them, so please do it. And I bet I'm reading things like 5% return, maybe something BMV, maybe it's ROI, maybe it's the area, maybe it's the demographic. Could be loads of things, right? But actually, there's only one thing that makes a great deal, and that's criteria. All right? And where do you get criteria from? From the investor. Now, that's all very well and good. If you get criteria investor, then how can you find the product first? You can't. So then you have to rely on a crazy good deal. So say, for example, I had a £200,000 property. Let's say it's legitimately worth that, and I get it below market value, so I get it 150k. Well, I've got a 25% discount there, right? Now, if I've given you a 25% discount, of course you're going to sell that because it's a crazy good deal. That's problem number one, is that sounds great, but you cannot build a business around that. You might be able to do 30, 40, 50 grand a year, and if that's what you want, fair enough, but it's going to be bloody hard work. Why not make 100, 200k a year with 10 hours a week? And that might sound crazy to you, but actually people are doing it all the time. You can make $250,000 a year with 10 hours a week. It just takes time. And I don't mean the 10 hours a week, I mean time as in duration to get there. So when we're looking at this then, that's problem number one. Problem number two is, let's say you do find an investor that's obviously over the moon with it, and then something happens. Maybe this person runs out of money. Maybe he can't get a mortgage. Maybe he has a life situation that changes, right? Then you've got to go out and find an entirely new investor and pitch the same property. Or even worse, imagine this happens. Imagine the vendor pulls out of the property. Imagine there's an issue with the property. The issue then is you then lose the property and the investor. So you might have heard shit like this from some gurus out there. Find a great property and the money will come. Fucking stupid. Absolutely moronic. Forget that and get away from those people, because yes, obviously if it's a crazy deal, they're probably right. But we're trying to build a sustainable business, right? So most people find a property and then they find the investor. I am telling you, if you want to do this as a genuine business, do not do that. So what we're going to do then is we will find the investor first, and then we're going to find the property. Now you might go, how can you close an investor without a property? Because I am not selling the product, guys and girls. I am selling the service, which is what my investors are actually interested in. So I am selling a certain yield and combined return. Combined return, by the way, is yield and capital growth. So you've got combined return there. I am selling hands-free approach. Sorry for my handwriting there. So hands-free approach. So I get paid upfront by investors. So let me give you some tips on how you approach that, all right? And then we'll wrap up. So I'm going to do this in under 2 minutes, he says. So the first thing you need to decide is your strategy. And what I mean by this is, what opportunities are you actually going to find people? Is it going to be buy-to-lets? Is it going to be HMOs? Is it going to be service accommodation? I really like boring vanilla buy-to-lets. I think they're the best investment in the world. I buy loads of them. I buy my investors loads. Then it's going to be location. So you're going to decide on your location. Now, if you live in London, don't say London. It needs to be a specific area. So my locations are West and South Yorkshire, but it started in LS4, which is Burley Kirkstall in Leeds, and then you broaden out. Next is the service that you're going to offer. So it could be you're going to do a finder's fee where you're just finding the property, you're going to find a great deal and then somebody else buys it. I like to do hands-free, so I do everything. I find it, negotiate it, get it through legals, get it brokered through a mortgage broker, I do the refurbishment, and I've got a management agency. It's down to you. Then from that, you're going to understand your USPs, your unique selling points. What are the key benefits that you can actually bring an investor? Then you're going to look at your avatar, which is your marketing avatar. What does your investor do? So for example, if I'm finding a great deal for an investor, they might be in property groups on Facebook. Whereas for me, my avatar is people like yourself that want to build their portfolios, but maybe they don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge. So mine's going to be bankers, dentists, doctors, lawyers, business owners are going to do that. Then I'm going to create my marketing. And then very simply, for example, this YouTube channel is marketing. Then what I'm going to do is give a call to action. So my call to action on this, guys, for you is, if it's clear I know what I'm doing, and it's clear you want to make money doing this, put education in the comments now. And that's me genuinely saying, we do paid for education. I can actually help you do all of this yourself. So put education in, I'll put a link in, click on it, fill your details. What then happens, guys, I'm going to tell you what happens. They then become a lead, because for you to do that, you're going to give me your number and your email. Then what's going to happen is we're going to qualify you and book an appointment. The qualification is really, you want to spend 15 minutes with them just to give some value to people and understand if you can actually help them. And remember, you can't help everyone. Okay, and that's really key. I won't be able to help every single one of you. You might need to go to somebody else and I can point you in that direction. Then you book them in for a proposal. And of course, you then get a sale if they say yes. So the proposal is going to be a proper consultation call, go through something with them, help them on their journey you go through. If you nail this and you can go again and again and again, again, I don't know whether you'll make 143 grand in your first year, but my commitment is to get people to 6 figures in their first year. So hopefully that's been valuable. And not gone through too quick. Hopefully you can watch it again and again. Please do let me know in the comments if you did get value from this and what sort of videos you would love me to do more of. If you're new to the channel, you want to learn more about property for free, just click the subscribe and the notification bell. Of course, if you're ready to invest in yourself, put education in the comments or click on the link and fill in your details. Would love to have a chat with each and every one of you that I can and the team can over the next few weeks. And of course, if you did get value, just tap that like button and I'll see you in the next video.